If you haven't followed my background, I've been teaching this since 2010, but I got into working on myself in 2006. I never used to be this cool. You might not think I'm cool. You might be like, what the fuck is he talking about? If you don't think this is cool, wait till you see this. God damn that reaction, like, oh God, turn it off, oh my God. That was me, okay? And I love the fucking garbage truck picture there. I worked on an actual garbage truck. Thank you. Rewarding work. No, but it's true. I was the shyest fuck, the nerdiest fuck. I mean, look at the middle two pictures. Just like this sad smile of like, kill me, like literally. And my summer job was working on a garbage truck. It was horrible, you know. I was smoking at the time too, and I have vivid memories of just standing on the back of that truck, trying to smoke my cigarette while holding on and not falling off and dying. It was very miserable. I was extremely shy. I was the guy who was like scared at like a Christmas meal. Scared to talk to my family, scared to talk to relatives. Why? Because they're like, so what's new with you? And I was so shy, and they're like, oh, what's wrong with him? And if you're quiet, what do? They pick on you. They pick on you. Like, why are you so quiet, Julien? I'm like, I couldn't do shit. So shy. School, same thing. I was a virgin for a very long time. It was just, again, this sad smile of quiet desperation. Okay, that was me. A lot of the things that run us and cause self-sabotage are in our subconscious mind. And this is very important. This is the reason why people fail at New Year's resolutions and people don't get what they're after. So if you think about it, okay, conscious mind, 10%. What's the conscious mind? It's what you're aware of right now. You could say the subconscious or unconscious, massive generalization, is what you're not aware of. If I ask you, what do you eat for breakfast today? Now you're aware of it, but where was it before? Out of your awareness. If you had to be aware of everything all the time, your head would explode, right? If you had to be aware of every memory, every experience you've been through, everything that ever happened to you all at once, you just can't. So it's a good system, the way your mind works. There's that split. However, what we do is we use this to put all the stuff that we don't like, the things that we deemed as unacceptable, we store them at the very pit, at the very bottom of our subconscious mind. If you've gone through, for example, a traumatic experience, an experience you deemed as unacceptable, you're like, that never happened. You suppress it or repress it. A negative thought, that never happened. If you embody a certain aspect of yourself and you get shamed for it, that aspect is not me. All the things that are not you, you stuff them down there. And then there's layers and layers of resistance to becoming aware of them. And this explains when you're triggered or when your buttons are pushed. Okay, so let's take the example of social anxiety or approach anxiety. That is not realistic fear. Very important to understand. And you do not get rid of this by going out and progressively desensitizing yourself to it. That does not work. It may work temporarily. Remember, there's different tools for each level, right? If you go out and you put yourself in crazy situations socially, you'll start getting used to it and desensitizing yourself, right? It'll be a little easier. However, what happens when you stop putting yourself in those crazy situations? Yeah. So what's the solution? Are you going to be like up into your like old years, an 80-year-old doing social anxiety challenges and shit to keep that going? No. So it doesn't work. It works temporarily as long as you do it, but it never truly gets to the cause. Why? Because the cause is down there in your subconscious mind. The cause of approach anxiety or social anxiety is past trauma. Now, trauma is not crazy, horrible shit, or let's just say not just that. We think that trauma, it's like, you know, if you look back at your childhood, you're like, well, my childhood was pretty good. Like, if I look back at my childhood, nothing bad really happened. I'm like, oh, you know, parents are still together. Pretty healthy household. I didn't go to war. My leg didn't get blown off. Pretty normal childhood. Did I go through trauma? Yes. Because here's the thing. Trauma is anything that's basically too overwhelming for you to handle or process. If you're a kid, your perception of the world is very different than you as an adult now. You getting lost in a grocery store feels like the end of the world. That can feel very traumatic based on your perception, based on the fact that you can't survive on your own. A parent telling you, be quiet, and you might interpret that as a kid as, they don't love me now. If they don't love me, they could abandon me. If they abandon me, I die. Survival instinct, that can be traumatic. Here's another one. Being mocked in school, right? What happens if you're a kid and people find out you like someone in class? They mock you. It's like, oh, Julian and Susie sitting in a tree. And they all fucking laugh. Now, as an adult, you look back, it's like, just kids fucking around, it's fine. But not as a kid. As a kid, that is fucking traumatic. That happened to me. It felt like the end of the world. So what do we do in this situation? Because why? The classroom feels like the world to you as a kid. If you don't fit in the classroom, it feels like you don't fit in the world and you're gonna fucking die. So we take that part of us, as an example, the part of me that likes girls, the part of me that expresses interest in girls, and we're like, that's not me. If I embody that part, I die. And we place it in the pits of our subconscious. And then we live our lives that way, resisting that part of ourselves. And the more we resist it, the more that resistance compounds. And here you are in your adult life, go say hi to her. No, come on, man, just a fucking girl, go say hi. What's the worst case? No thanks. I'm gonna die. That's what we feel, right? Hey, come up front on stage. I'm gonna die. You're not gonna fucking die. Why do you feel that way? Because it's being poked at. That aspect that you disowned, you're put in a situation where you have to embody it and put it out there. And that same fear of life and death that made you disown it in the past kicks in. That's when you're being triggered, or have a pain body attack, as Eckhart Tolle would call it. Approach anxiety is a pain body attack. Fear of rejection, feeling like you're going to die, is a pain body attack. A breakup that lasts and ruins you for a long period of time is a pain body attack. It's a disproportionate response to reality. And the way to solve this is not using techniques. It's not desensitizing yourself. It's going back and re-owning that part of you, letting go of the resistance around that part of you. And when you do that, you're no longer poked at. And understanding this, what does it mean when you're being triggered? That it's actually good and helpful. Because when you're poked at, say that approach anxiety kicks in, that aspect of you that you disown starts floating up closer to the surface. And the closer it is to the surface of the conscious mind, the easier it is to catch and let go of through the process that we just did before. And by combining that with taking action, you become fucking unstoppable. Okay? So you got to zone in on, what are some of the areas in my life where there's that trigger, where my buttons are pushed? Okay? Some other things that are down here, different beliefs, you could say core beliefs. Another audit is, what are the patterns in your life? Okay? Due to the way that we're conditioned, and this is very important, when you're born, you have to quickly form your bearings on the world, right? You're a kid, you come out of your mom's pussy, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And you have to quickly be like, oh, this is the world. Now, it's very graphic. That's how I can like here I am. Now, there are two ways that we get our bearings and form those beliefs. One is through firsthand experience, right? Where you try something firsthand and you realize for yourself, oh, I touched the stove, it burns, don't touch the stove. However, because you're a kid, your perception is very limited and you form a lot of wrong beliefs. For example, the part of you that disowned, I can't like girls because I'm going to die, it's because your perception is limited. But you form that as a belief. And it's one of those original beliefs, you could say core beliefs. And those first beliefs, because they're there for a long period of time and we tend to build new beliefs on them, they're extremely powerful and they tend to run us even in our adult life. Secondhand experience, you look at others, right? We live in a society, and you're going to filter information through how certain are they, okay? How aligned are they? How congruent are they with what they're saying or doing? And how much authority do they have? And if information passes those three things, we accept it as true even if it isn't. Here's an example. How do you know that shit doesn't taste good? Did you try it firsthand? Right? How do you know? Maybe it just smells really bad, but as soon as you taste it, you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. We don't know. That is a belief where you look around and everyone's telling you, don't eat your shit, it doesn't taste good. And they're very certain, they're very congruent, and because the entire world believes it, there's a lot of authority behind this belief. We accept it as true. Okay, one example. It's like, and don't try this. Someone goes after the seminar like, let me try. Don't try it. So there's one example. Now, we will believe it even if it isn't true, by the way. Here's another one that we all believe. We're not good enough. Why? Because everyone else believes it. We accept it as true. Now, as a child, though, you could say the source of a lot of those beliefs are going to be your parents, your teachers, and the classroom. Those will be the three things where there's the most authority. Your parents have a lot of authority, or whoever's raising you, teachers, and whatever the class believes, once more, because your perceptions, like the classroom is the world, if they all believe it, it must be true. So we're going to form a lot of beliefs, and these beliefs run us, and you must identify them. For example, you might look at your parents, at their relationship, and you're like, say they fight a lot, you might be like, oh, love equals fighting. Love equals drama. And for some reason, you keep finding yourself in these relationships where there's a lot of drama. Maybe your parents split, and then you might be pulled in different situations where your partner cheats on you, or it's a long distance, or your partner is not emotionally there for you, doesn't meet your needs, is very distant. Okay? There's all these different patterns. And we don't just form core beliefs around the world, we also form a core belief around who we are and who we see ourselves as. An identity, you could say a core identity. This is who I am. This is what I deserve in life. Okay? We have a ceiling of success. Anything more than that is not congruent to my identity. So you can think about it like this. If this is, say, your core identity, then there's all the core beliefs you formed, your bearings on the world. You could say this is the original map that you form as a child coming into this world. We never go back and examine it. We just double down on this map. And then we build new beliefs, and new beliefs, and new beliefs, and new beliefs. Now, why will we never examine this original core belief? Because if this is wrong, then everything crumbles, and we lose our bearings on the world. If I am not this identity, then who am I? And it's too scary. So we just keep doubling down. Very important, identify that core identity. A common one is, and this, you'll see how it runs your life, the underdog. People have that, where it's like, you know what, I'm the underdog, I always need some big challenge, I need to prove people wrong, so on and so forth. And this runs your life. You can't let success come to you easily. The idea of just getting results easy is disgusting. You need to create challenges in your life. Okay? The loner, the person, you can even think of a movie character that, you know, resonates with you, that is you the most. You know, the person with a lot of potential. Or Spider-Man, the person waiting for that spider to bite to finally take action, waiting for this magical moment in your life to finally give yourself permission to be who you want to be. And this runs us. Okay? And if you think about self-sabotage, remember this. There is no such thing as you fucking yourself over. You always do and get exactly what you want. Everything you hate in your life right now, you actually love it. There is a part of you that secretly loves it. However, that part of you, more often than not, is out of your awareness. And this is why there's all that friction. Consciously, you're trying to make yourself take action, but subconsciously, if it challenges your identity or challenges a core belief, you will push that away to stay congruent to this. Okay? The example I mentioned before was, say, guilt. Consciously, I want success. Subconsciously, oh, you did this bad thing. You should not have done that. You fucked up. You need to be punished. And it could be even a guilt from like your childhood. You know, it's like, I feel guilty because I bullied someone when I was 5. That might still run you. And it's like, I need to be punished for it. I can't allow myself to succeed. You're going to keep pushing it away. There's always two forces. Consciously trying to make it happen, but if you don't address the subconscious, there's that other force pushing it away all the time. 1, let go of being triggered. Okay, when it comes to the fear of going out, putting yourself out there, approaching, dive into that original thing that's been poked at, Re-own it, that's gone. 2, let go of negative core beliefs. And 3, let go of negative, basically of the core identity. There's another great way of seeing your ceiling of success. Health, wealth, relationships, you could even say happiness, we all have that ceiling. I don't deserve more than that. Whenever you pass this, you self-sabotage. You want to know your ceiling of success when it comes to dating? Around who do you feel stifled? You ever see that? You talk to someone you think you're in the same league or you're even outside their league, you don't run out of things to say. But as soon as you're like, oh, they are beyond what I deserve, you freeze. And what do we do? Then we look for techniques. How do I technique to not freeze? What do I do when I freeze? Hey, just don't freeze. No one teaches us that friction between the conscious and subconscious. And that's a really good exercise too. It's like you could even write down all the things you don't like right now. Like even like, oh, I procrastinate, et cetera, and ask yourself, what's the secret payoff? What am I secretly getting out of this? That is one step closer to letting go of it. Play the devil's advocate, like, what part of me might secretly love this? You know? It's like, oh, I don't have girls. I hate that I don't have a girlfriend. But a part of you might love being the loner. We talked about this even before. Remember, if you're addicted to needing and craving a partner, you won't allow yourself to get it because then you can no longer crave the partner. I had this when I was a kid. It was in high school, and I'd listen to like all these punk songs like Offspring and Blink-182 and shit. And I'd like lie down in bed and I'd be like, when I get a girl, when I get a girl, and I'd like obsess over, or fantasize over different girls. Would I allow myself to actually get a girlfriend? Because there were opportunities. No, because if I got the girl, I can't listen to that song and obsess over it. I can't have my emo nights alone anymore. There's a secret payoff. Make sense? This is Julien, and if you're someone who has social anxiety, you fear putting yourself out there, or you procrastinate, you put things off, you come up with excuses, or you're lost and you have no purpose in life, then pay very close attention because this scale of transformation is what has helped me change the lives of thousands of people around the world. Now, I want to help you identify exactly where you're at and give you customized feedback and action steps to get you moving up fast. Don't be one of the people who just dabbles around in the dark trying to figure it out on their own. Jump on a free call with myself or an expert from my team and let us help you. Just click the link below this video, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll be reaching out very soon. Click the link right now and let's do this.